And in this case, Mises is going to use it to build on the argument of how it is that we know about how interest works and how money works and what affects an economy. How do we know that when these are the most complicated, complex things ever? How is it that we can say to someone, like, let's say someone who works at the Federal Reserve, how is it that we have the ability to say, you're wrong, this is super complicated, and you can't solve the problem? And yet somehow we claim that we have the ability to grasp the logic of what must happen when someone like the guy at the Federal Reserve manipulates reality to the extent that he has the power to manipulate reality. So it's like that's the line that we're playing on, and it's obviously an outsider, a layman who has never studied this stuff. It can be very obvious to say like, well, I'm going to defer to the person that actually has a lot of prestige and power, because you wouldn't arrive at prestige and power if you were dumb.
Right.
And you are just you're a guy that studies a science that doesn't even have a degree.
Right.
There's no degree. There's no school that actually gives you accreditation in that.
Yeah.
There's no licenseship or anything like that. It's like, so
a million reasons why you're not
that's obviously
credible.
An appeal to authority, but you can see why people appeal to authority when they don't understand something.
Of course. And most people don't understand. Even people who go to college still don't come out of there without proper accounting, budgeting, financing, like understanding of credit, understanding of like the economy and the stock market and companies and how they work and everything. No, they taught you how to write an essay, how to read a book, how to show up, basic things. But yeah, most people don't question the state because they don't even know truly what it is. They just read history books about other failed states and they just accept this must be the solution.
And just to take it one step further, and I'm sorry for this digression, but I just find this totally fascinating. I was talking with my friend about one of my family members who's really successful. My friend works for my family member, okay? And I was asking, what does he think about what's happening with the economy right now? Where does he think it's going? And my friend responded, he's in denial. And I said, how can that be when he got totally wrecked in 2008? And he told me personally that I will never allow that to happen again. I was completely hubristic. I was living beyond my means, and I got completely wrecked, even though I was super successful.
Yeah.
And he's literally doing it again. And so it comes down to like, what do you think? Like, this is outside of praxeology, but psychologically, like, what do you think the government is to you? The government's the daddy you never had. You see what I'm saying? Because I know his relationship with his father is not good. His father was kind of irresponsible. But he needs a father figure in his life psychologically.
Right. The government is a steady man.
Exactly.
It's like a guy that's never going to go anywhere. He's always there. He's going to take care of you, like no matter what you need. The security is there.
And you know what my friend said to me?
What?
He's not an economist, so he didn't answer me in an economic way, and he's not a psychologist either. Do you know what he said to me though?
What?
He said it's like a girl who keeps getting cheated on. This time he's going to change. This time things will be different.
Right.
That's literally how he answered me about
So he agrees.
About my
only it's
my
worse
cousin. He said that's how he's thinking. He thinks this time he's gonna be different. He's gonna change. He's not gonna cheat on me again.
Right.
And it's like,
no.
Girl, you're destined for failure.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm a little bit the opposite. I'm more like I paid so many taxes. I paid so much right out of the gates into the system that I got out and I was like, I will never do that again unless it's literally like because I have no other way to survive or whatever. But as far as I can try to avoid being a part of the very thing that feeds the monster, like that's my new way of being free. Like I don't want 80% of what I produce to be handed over to a bunch of people who want to distribute it like in ways that I don't agree with. And also most of that stuff that I produce, like I haven't even been able to actually see what my full potential is because it's ripped away from me as soon as I make it. It's like if you went fishing and you never got to see what was in the net, but like you're like the best fisherman. You know what I mean?
Well, Donald Trump just changed that.
What?
Donald Trump just made a rule that there's going to be no payroll withholding.
Oh.
You didn't hear about this?
This must have been yesterday then.
As of this year, and he's hoping to make it indefinitely.
You have to pay the taxes later.
Yeah, you have to pay
They're
yourself.
not going to just take it out. Oh, thank God.
And so...
God, this is so unfair, though. I wish that it had happened when I was fucking there,
What do you mean? It would have hurt. I mean, I'm not saying it's good.
No, I would have had
You're
everything.
hurting anyway. There's
No,
no
but
way
But it's like credit. I would be able to spend my money and then get in trouble for not having enough to pay my taxes. But instead, they take it away, and then I just don't have enough money to spend on myself.
Right.
But I'm good with them. But I'm following the law.
You
like,
understand
I'm
what's going to
be in
happen
trouble.
is that people are going to come to the end of the year and they're going to have all this money that they owe and they're not going to be able to pay it, right?
Of course. Yeah, but that's like credit cards.
But, you know,
That's how
for
credit
for the hopeful libertarian, you say like, this is all planned. Donald Trump is trying to get everyone to wake the hell up.
Yeah.
And
Well, the
see,
good thing-
see
but
what's really going on.
Because it might hurt, it might sting for a little while.
Right.
But the thing is, they will also not have the money in their hands.
That's
And
right.
so then it's a cold war because it's like, look, I get it. I owe you, but you don't have the resources
Right.
or
It's
the
kind of-
means to
it's
come
ki-
after
it's
me
kind of
anymore.
like a renter versus landlord
Yes.
thing right now with the
Yes.
moratorium.
Yes.
Like, yeah, you always have the card because you have the
Yeah.
power of the state to enforce me to pay
Yeah.
the rent
But if I
or kick me out.
But if I
But if
put the
we're
state in
a
a drought and you don't have the money to come after me, how many like government employees
Right.
are going to come knock on my door? Like, you can't even afford them because
Right.
I didn't pay you my taxes. And then what happens? That's the exciting part. And yes, some people are irresponsible and some people need parents and some people don't know how to survive on their own.
And let's warn
I feel
everyone,
bad for them, but not
Yes.
that bad.
But let's also warn everybody that's listening to the podcast is that if you find yourself in the situation where you mismanage your money and you're unable to pay your taxes, you are rolling the dice or playing roulette because you may be the one they want to make an example of.
Of course.
So, you know, that's something that you have to consider.
Yeah, but also a life without honor is no life at all. So like if you also want to stick to your principles,
Oh, yeah.
then, you know, you're better off being a free person than to be a slave.
Yeah,
So yeah,
and-
you can
and-
do everything right and you'll never
you
be
know.
made an example of and you'll never cause any controversy and you'll never whatever and you'll just be an NPC who like sheeps their way through and one day you'll wake up and be 75 and look back and you won't have anything anyway, but you will have done it the way that Nancy Pelosi wanted you to do it, you know? And she'll be dead and gone and she won't give you a sticker on their forehead and you'll just be there like destitute, like what was the point? And it's like the point was to try to actually do like new, innovative, and incredible things on this planet while you were here. It wasn't to just go and get your paycheck. It was to try to improve the society as a whole.
Well, it depends
you know?
what character you are in the
In the game, yeah,
right?
the
Like if you're an NPC, like all this is going over their head.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
even if they were to believe you for a second and get excited about what you're saying,
Yeah.
Joan of Arc, you're just sending them to their ultimate demise.
Which is a martyrdom.
Because in the movie, they're
Yeah.
just going to die. They're
It's
just going to
true.
be another
No,
body
it's
that's
true.
flung out in the air.
Well, you're gonna die anyway. I'm just trying to give you purpose. I just think like as long as I'd like the idea of dying in battle or in a fight or some kind of like going down as a hero thing. Like I figure it's better than slipping on a banana peel. But some people don't. They're not interested in being the change they want to see in the world. They want things to come to them. Well, hell will come to you, I guess. Like,
Right.
because you have to build
this
heaven up.
science that we're studying is not for those people.
No.
This is for people that want.
No, because first of
the
all, this is
knowledge.
antithetical to being out of sight, out of mind. First of all, it's like you literally have to pay attention to everything you do and everything has meaning because everything you're doing has a purpose. If you don't want to accept that, like he says this, like reality is just not for some people.
Right.
Like they
That was
just
great.
Yeah, like it rubs some people the wrong way. Like I don't want to be in this real world. Like
Right.
why? And it's so funny how they can disconnect. Like you can choose to live in your own fuzzy wuzzy was a bear.
Yeah, God gives you the freedom to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
You don't have to follow the plan.
No.
You can make your own plan and suffer the consequences and die violently.
You should see this new thing on Netflix called Palm Springs. It's with Andy Samberg and like it's interesting because it's about like what would happen if it's a little bit like Groundhog Day, like what would happen if it just repeated, you were stuck in the same day over and over. And so he starts like as a praxeologist, it starts to like it's a joke on human behavior. Like what do you start doing when eventually you're like, okay, I've like lived all the days and I've done all the things and there's no consequences. Like what do I do? It's pretty funny.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to watch it.
Yeah.